Before we go further in our deliberation for tonight, I want us to understand the word poultry value chain. And when we talk about the poultry value chain, you can see that poultry value chain links the actors and activities involved in poultry and poultry products to the final consumers, with products increasing in value at every stage. Look at, for example, now when you have maize and soybean and you mix it and you convert it into feed, you can see it has increased in value. When we look at this poultry value chain, you can see that a input, production, processing and distribution, they will all work hands in hands together. It is when you have feed, that is your input, that you can produce. A farmer cannot do without feeds, so they need each other. That is, the production also need what? The processing also need production, because if there's nothing to produce, what are you going to process? And distribution also, because if you don't have what to process, what are you going to distribute? To address my point, you can see when we talk about the inputs, that is, they are the providers of the feeds, the feed ingredients we use, the tray feeder, the veterinary service, and drugs and vaccines. They are the one that are in inputs. And when we talk about the production, so you can see those that are going to broiler production, either layers production, either turkey production. And when you look at the third one, which is the processing, that is, you process your poultry production and you distribute. That is the last stage of the value chain. To me, the reason why Hamo farms, Ajanla farms, Zatek farms, Holland farms will still be relevant in this industry is because of what? They maximize the potential inherent in the poultry value chain. Looking at these farms I mentioned earlier, you can see they are into breeding, they are into production of feeds, they are into selling of day-old chicks, they are into processing and packaging of broilers, they are into distribution. They maximize every aspect of the poultry business. That is every. I understand that majorly our major complaint is how do we get funds, how do we get capital for our business, for our agricultural business. And money is not the major problem. What we need to do first is to build capacity for that business. Before you venture into any business, try and know much about the business, so you'll be able to fit in every aspect of the production. And another key factor in maximizing this potential is collaboration and partnership. Taking a look at these key players, for example, when we talk about the CHI, the Holland groups, you can see that these people are not just an individual entity. There is synergy between them, there is partnership, there is collaboration. That is why they can achieve a lot in the value chain. That is why they can still fit in majorly all this value chain, because they are into feed, they are into production of crop, they are into production of everything needed in this poultry value chain, and they are able to make efficient use. So I will end this class tonight by telling us that there is opportunities everywhere. There's always an opportunity for us everywhere if we can maximize this opportunity. Keep learning, keep growing, and know that if you can think it, you can ink it. If you can think of all this poultry value chain, if you can think that you can build a company that will have all this value chain that we have mentioned tonight, you can achieve it. Keep growing, keep learning. Thank you so much for joining us.